Hearts.
Yeah.
This is a beef heart or a bovine heart. First giveaway is size. Fat is quite firm. I'm seeing evidence of quite normal meat inspection, which is prescribed within EC 854/2004, where the meat inspectors have to incise into the heart, checking for a parasite called C. bovis, which is transmissible to man. There's different treatments for C. bovis, be it localized or generalized infestation. That's a lamb's heart. It's pointy in nature, about 100 grams in weight. The fat is very firm, and it's a visual only inspection, so there's no incisions to look for. This here is a pig's heart, slightly larger than the lamb's at about 150 grams. The fat is very oily and greasy to the touch. It's a visual inspection and an incision in this case to look again for cystic inside the heart muscle. These are a set of bovine lungs, or beef lungs. The trachea section is tear-shaped. Lungs are moderately soft to touch. I can see evidence of quite normal meat inspection in the lung tissue has been incised. Trachea has been open. And I'm also looking at a lymph node having been examined in detail. The meat inspector has to carry that out because it's prescribed inside the hygiene regulations, and is looking for a notifiable disease called tuberculosis. Potentially fit for food though, these lungs. That's a pig's lung. The reason I come to that conclusion is they're quite soft to the touch, quite compressible to the touch. And the trachea section's round, potentially fit for food. They look okay. These here are lamb's lungs. They're very rubbery to the touch when I try and compress them. And if I hold the trachea section, it's tear-shaped. And it's a visual only inspection, and again, potentially fit for food. This here is a beef liver. They say that by the size. Although the lobulation is not very distinct, it has 3 lobes, one there, and this thumb lobe or caudate lobe on the side. EC 854 prescribes that the liver is inspected visually and then incised there and there to open up these bile ducts where you can find liver fluke. If there's liver fluke, that would make it unfit, but this one looks okay and is fit for human consumption. This one here is a pig's liver. It's got 5 lobes, although they're quite difficult to count. And the other characteristic is you see this mottling effect on it, which is called the Moroccan leather effect. That's one there. It's a visual only inspection, so there's no incisions to look for. Potentially fit for food. This here is a lamb's liver. It has 3 lobes. 1, 2, and here the caudate lobe. And similarly to the beef, but only in this time there's only 1 incision, again looking for liver fluke. This one's okay, and it's fine, fit for food.
You'd look for flat fluke in both of them, yeah? In all of them.
That there's a lamb's kidney, and that's described as a classic bean or shape or kidney shape. It's a visual only inspection, and that one's fit for food. That's the same as the lamb's kidney as well, slightly different in colour. This one here is a pig's kidney. It's described as elongated, bean-shaped, and it's a visual only inspection. This here is a beef kidney, and it's described as a complex kidney of these various globules of kidney material. Again, it's a visual only inspection, and that one looks okay and is fit for human consumption. You right?
Yep.
These are a tray of spleens. This one here is a beef spleen. So it's elongated, quite large, and although he's potentially fit for food, he's rarely used for human consumption. This here is a pig spleen, and although he's been incised, it's usually that shape, and in section is triangular in shape. What's unique about the pig spleen is this fat on the side, which is called either the caul or the omentum fat, and can be used to wrap a meat product called faggots. These, interestingly, are lamb spleens. These are important in that these are actually unfit for human consumption, associated and listed within the specified risk material regulations as a category 1 animal byproduct, and cannot be used for food. They have to be disposed as an category 1 animal byproduct. That there collectively is termed a pluck, of the constituents of a liver, heart, lungs, trachea and associated material. Your trained tongues. This one here firstly is a beef tongue, the largest of the samples. Quite rough to the touch. It's a visual only inspection, and this one looks okay and is fit for human consumption. This one here is a lamb's tongue. I'm looking at a little notch in the front that actually denotes it as ovine. It's a visual only inspection again, and this one's okay. Interestingly, I can see a difference in pigmentation between these two samples, and both are okay. That's just dependent on the animal itself. You can have pigment in both samples or none. This here is a pig's tongue, significantly smoother to the touch. And what I'm noting is as well is that the epithelial membrane is lifting, and that's because of the nature of the pig processing, where the pigs are immersed in hot water to lift the hairs to allow depilation. But as a part of that, you see this lifting of the skin of the tongue. These are a tray of testes and penises, and although odd for us, potentially fit for human consumption. This one's from a pig, these are actually from lamb. This here is tripe, and it's from lamb, and lamb's a ruminant and it's got 4 stomachs, but for tripe manufacture only 2 stomachs are used, and this first one is the rumen and this second one is the reticulum. To produce it for human consumption, it would go through a further processing of bleaching. This here is a lamb's head. You can see a slightly less distinct tip from the notch on the tongue. But of interest on this one, some lamb tongues are fit for human consumption, as this one is, but others are unfit, and the difference is denoted by age. So I'm looking at the teeth here, and these are baby teeth, which suggests the animal is less than 1 year old, therefore fit for human consumption. If I was to see permanent incisors, that would suggest the lamb is over 1 year old, and then it becomes a specified risk material, category 1 animal byproduct, which is unfit for human consumption.
That's it, is it? Brilliant.